Hi, my name is Will Nunziata, New York City-based director and creator of theater, television, and film, and also proud FENIX Global Artist Ambassador. Today, I am thrilled to be speaking with the incredible singer-songwriter, Mr. ROGET. For more on Mr. ROGET, you can read more about him right below this video, but in the meantime, here is a sneak peek at the amazing talent of Mr. ROGET.
Got me feeling like a loser, 6 feet under dead like a user. Chasing pavements was when you said then you don't love me quite like that. You're down on knowing how to react. Feels the spacing. Is there your replacement? Is there someone more? Now you were back there. No challenges, just passion. You say I'm not right, I don't want to fight tonight, so I'll just slip away into a private place. Yeah, I bet you'll fuck me then, I bet you'll love me when I'm feeling appreciated, and I bet you'll touch me when I'm covered in silver, like a cosmic healer.
Well, hello, Mr. ROGET. How are you?
I am doing great, Will. How are you?
I'm doing great. Well, much better now. And
Yes.
I'm so excited that the
Yes,
audience
as
just
am
got a
I.
little sneak peek of your incredible talent. Mr. ROGET, where were you born and when did you realize that you had this knack for music?
I was actually born in Atlanta, Georgia, in the United States. And I realized I had a knack for music, I think, at the age of 12. I was living with my dad at the time in the UK, and I had this sort of, just kind of like hear these sort of R&B singers, and I just connected with them musically and vocally. And they just kind of went from there.
I love it. And Mr. ROGET, I love the fact that you don't have like a singular genre that you do. It's kind of like a fusion of your own. How would you describe what you do in terms of a genre?
Well, I definitely moved on from doing like R&B was kind of like a starting point for me. But then as I got a little older, as you do with teenage issues, angst and all that, I just developed this sort of like an affinity for rock music. And that is just, it's like a big melting pot, especially so that as I've gotten older and I've developed as a musician, and I don't know, it's just a big mix of everything. Like I love Tori Amos, I love Alanis Morissette, I love Garbage, I love Red Hot Chili Peppers, but I definitely modeled my voice after females. That is, probably musically the biggest influences for me.
That's amazing. Well, listen, I'm curious as an artist, where do you find that you are gaining most of your inspiration these days? I mean, obviously, we all as humans and artists, especially, it's been a struggle. And I'm curious, how you've been able to use your art through this time.
Wow. Well, I got to finish my album last year, which, I've been working on it for years. I think we started working on it in 2012. And, there was just a lot of like gaps and reasons that it had to stop and go. So 2020 was the point that I was able to finally finish it. But of course, by the time we finished it and it was released this year, back in March, I just, I didn't really identify with the music itself anymore. Like lyrically, very much still relatable, but the music itself, because I had always wanted to do more of a rock sound, like a lot of acoustics and that sort of a thing. But the producer I was dealing with, he suggested we go more of an electronic route, and so, I like to experiment. So I said, sure, why not, and but just the whole process. Once we made it to 2020, the album was done. It was released. I already started working on new songs, which of course went back to the whole rock genre. And then I just felt this is more me, and this is where I want to go. So it just kind of allowed me to, get more back to that. And then I started, with just listening to like Marvin Gaye, whom I think is amazing, listening to Led Zeppelin, listening to a lot of Bowie, and then just kind of like mixing those kinds of things together. And then I think that's when you get me.
I love that. Well, I love that
Yeah.
unapologetic fusion, because my favorite artists are the ones that kind of take all of their influences, whether it be from childhood or adulthood, but also in the moment, and then just kind of unapologetically filter it through them.
Right.
Almost as a vessel.
Absolutely.
And I feel very much in tune with you when it comes to that. And I just started
Thanks.
listening to your stuff a week and a half ago. So
Oh, wow. That's great.
it's touched me as an artist. And
Nice.
I want to know moving forward, I'm sure it's a day by day thing, but the type of music that you feel right now that you're vibing with, that you could see yourself creating now more than ever.
Oh, wow. I mean, what I'm listening to, I was listening to like Greg Allman not too long ago. So, wow, I was listening to, I'm trying to think about what was I listening to this morning? Oh, I was listening to Angelfish, which has the lead Shirley Manson from Garbage. I was listening to that this morning. And, and I was like, there were some songs on there that really kind of identified with me. And I thought, wow, I would love to be able to kind of put that sound into what I'm doing right now. But I just think there's so many variations, and I have a song that I'm working on, which is going to have kind of a sort of New Orleans witchy gospel kind of a feeling to it, so it's just a variation. And then there's another song that's going to be more of a Marvin Gaye, I Want You kind of a sound. So it's going to be very just different.
I love it. And I'm curious to know, my final question for you is, growing up in Atlanta, Georgia, how that has inspired your music.
I couldn't tell you. I don't really remember too much about it.
Oh, did you move to the UK?
Yes.
How long were you in Atlanta for?
Oh, I think maybe like 7 years old, I think.
But you don't remember.
Yeah, very little. Like,
what about living in the UK? How that inspired?
Oh, well, I mean, that inspired me, I think, in terms of like just rock music itself. Waking up in the morning and my dad's like listening to like Paul Simon or something, And I think also just in terms of like dealing with the people, I think, it's very different from how people are here. So just, I think that influenced me a lot. And I also think that had a lot to do with me being open as an artist, and not really sort of being, also as a Black artist, just to be very specific. So I think because of that, it essentially kept me from sort of being stuck in one kind of a box. Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, Mr. ROGET, I am so excited that I had the time today to speak with you briefly.
Thank you.
But for our audience watching, for more on Mr. ROGET, you can read more about him and his incredible artistry right below this video. Mr. ROGET, thank you so much for speaking with me today.
Thank you, Will, for having me. I appreciate that.
So nice to meet you.
Likewise.
Bye.
In the digital age, artists and bands struggle to make a living. In fact, only a small number of artists can live off their craft. For the 98% of artists that don't have the luxury of being signed to a label, it's tough. But artists deserve to live off their art. Wherever you are around the world, appreciation of music does not change. FENIX brings bands and their fans together, whilst allowing bands to properly monetize their passion. The FENIX app will directly connect bands and fans with no need for middlemen. We're utilizing the blockchain to give the power back to the artist once and for all. Join FENIX, join the change.